Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. Happy Monday. Today is the start of Agora Models week. Every video this week is going to be in some way related to Agora Models, and that's going to culminate on Saturday where I'm off to the Scale Model World show in Telford, where I believe Agora Models is going to be in attendance for that. They're going to be showing off the DB5 and I believe another build, so we'll have to see what that is. But today I am doing the Mercedes 300SL Gullwing. Now, if you remember in the last pack, we had quite an intricate lot of things to do here, as you can see. And today, I believe, we're going to be doing the suspension. We're going to be putting the wheels on. Now, there is a lot of black here on a lot of black surface. So I think I'm going to change the colour of the mat. And there you go. We've got a nice sort of like beigeish sort of mat down here. So hopefully that's going to show everything up. Now, if you want to get this for yourself, I have put a link down here in the video description. There's also a QR code on the screen. You can get this all the way from pack 1. But without further ado, let's get cracking. So it's all going to start with stage 17, and we're going to be completing the chassis in this one. So we've got some more chassis pieces and some screws here. Let's get this open. So the first thing we need is the bulkhead support bracket, looking like this, and the bulkhead support flange, which looks like this. And that's just going to be going over this section, sliding down the channel that's on the outside here. And it's going to be held in with an EP screw. And there you go. That's all the way in, looking just like that. So this is the upper bulkhead frame, and that support bracket is just going to go into this point just here. Have got a keyhole pattern on this section here, which is going to match the one just there. So it can only go in one way. It's going to go in that way, just like that. Held in with a HP screw. And there you go, that's in. So bringing the main chassis of the car over, this is going to be going into the points just at the front here. I want this pipe to be on top of this bracket. So when this sits in, it's going to be going in just like that there. Now it's held in with CM screws on each side here. So that's one in that side and one in this side here. And then we can turn it upside down. And at the bottom there, I'm going to be putting that frame in. It's just these two holes here with FM screws. And there you go. That's that bulkhead in place. Now I have this strut to put in. We want it this way round. This side is just going to go under this section just here. And this side is going to go into the hole that we've got just behind this pillar there. Now this is held in with a CM screw. Quite hard to get that started, but I haven't tightened it all the way, just so I can get this one in here, which is a CM screw again. So they're both in. I'm going to tighten them as tight as I can get them now. And as you can see, that's that strut in place there. Turn the whole car over, just like this. Say the chassis I meant. And I'm going to be putting this last bit of frame on here. It's going to be going in this way, just like that. So the top sections are resting on these pillars. The bottom sections are on these. So for the bottom, we're going to be using the FM screws. This is the first one there. And this is the second one. And then for the two screws just on top here, it's going to be EM screws. And this is the last EM screw going in here. And once that's in, that is all there is to do in that stage. So in stage 18, we're going to be starting the front left suspension. And I'm going to be taking the left control arm first, looking like this. I've got a kingpin bush. This is all metal, just to go in between this section there, like that. And then I'm going to be putting a KM screw just through this hole now. I want to make sure it goes through everything. So I'm holding it with my fingers and get that all the way through there. I've got another one here to put on this control arm, which is just going to go in here like that. Once again, one of the big KM screws from the side to keep this in. Remember, the screw is going through the larger hole, like that. Make sure that engages on the other side. It's another bush in place. Bringing the original one back over, I've got another bush in to put in, which looks just like this here. I want it this way round with the this side here open out. It's going to go into the gap just there. And this time it's held in with GM screws from each side. So one that side. Perfect. Put that to one side. I'm going to be doing the same thing on this one, but this time we've got a bigger bush control to put in. Going into this section just here. Once again, it's GM screws to hold this into place. So one that side and one this side. Now we'll keep this one in our hand because what I'm going to be doing is putting the stalk of the shock absorber here into this section just here. It's going to go all the way down, and the square top of this is going to fit into the channel just there. I'm going to bring the car over now, and this is going to be going onto this point just at the back here like this, and it's held in with an MM screw. Get that nice and tight. Put that to one side. Take the bottom one that we were working on. I've got a spring here to put over that section like that. Bring over the car again. Now I'm holding that suspension there with my finger. I've got a spring to put over the top there like that. And then I've got this control arm this way round. We want it because that end's going to go into the spring, which is going to go on top like that. And I'm securing this with screws just here. Now they're both MM screws, but because they're under pressure, it's going to be a little bit tricky to get these in, because I do need to contort that spring. So I'm going to get the back one in first. That will keep that into place. And then compress the spring and get the one in this side as well. And then tighten them up as hard as you can get them. So when that's done, it should look just like that. Now to stop this shock absorber falling out, I need an LM flange screw. Again, turn this over, but hold this in with my hand, because I want to be able to see this coming out the other side here. So I'm holding that with my left hand, and in my right hand I've got this flange screw. Let's get this in here quickly. I'll hold that into place and then make that tight. And there we go. That's in place. And that is the suspension on that side just sorted. Now I want to put the hub carrier into position. That's going to be going in this way, with this end here pointing towards the back of the engine, into the bottom and into the top. Into the top hole here, we're going to be putting one of the flanged LM screws. Excellent. And I'm going to do the same on the bottom. It's so interesting seeing the different ways suspension's done on these 1.8 vehicles. Get this one in nice and tight as well. And there we go. That's in place. It should be able to move because this is going to be attached to the steering here. And that is all there is to do in that stage. So in stage 19, I'm going to do an abridged version of that because we're going to be doing exactly the same thing just for the other side. So first thing I'm going to do is put the bushes in each side of these, here and here, with a KM screw. So they're both done, as you can see there. Then I'm going to be taking these control bushes here. So the smaller one's going to go just there. The larger one's going to be going into this one just like that. And these are held in with GM screws. So that's that one in as well, looking like that. We're going to be taking the shock, that goes all the way through, like that. Bringing over the car, this one's going on the other side now. So once again, this section just over there, held in with an MM screw. Turn it over, holding that's the shock with my finger there. Putting the spring over the top. And then putting this section in here, this way round like this. And again, MM screws to keep this into place. Just get the LN flange screw to line up the suspension, just like that. And that will keep that nice and tight. And then finally, the hub carrier is just going in each side here, once again held in with those flange screws. This is the final one just going in here. And that is all there is to do in that stage. In stage 20, we've got the steering rod. I said this was coming, didn't I? So let's bring the car back over and look at what we've just created here with the hub carriers. So to start this, we've got this steering rack here, which is just going to go over those two hub carriers there and there like that. So you see it controls both of these now. Excellent. That's going to be held in with the flanged LM screws. So one in this side and one in this side. Perfect. So as you can see, that now moves. So this is the anti-roll bar or sway bar. It's just going to go on the front of the chassis here. We've got some lugs going down into the holes here. Probably best on the top camera, 1 and 2. And then I've got some HP screws here, which I'm just opening, which hold this in from the other side. So if I just turn this over, very gentle with this, they're going into the holes just here. One this side and one just this side. Excellent. And that is all there is to do in that stage. Now in stage 21 we've got another wheel to create. We've done this earlier on in the build, we've already created one, but I am going to need, or I think I'm going to need, some water for this. Let me check. Yep, I can tell straight away I'm going to need some water, so let me get that together. So as you can see there, I've put a wheel in this boiling water just to one side. Now I've got to thank Ian from Partwork Upgrades for providing me with these lovely Partwork Upgrade colour tea towels, which is great. And I'm going to be pushing this rim into the wheel. Now there is a way around it goes, so once I fish the wheel out, I'll show you which way it goes. I'm just going to let that soak for a little bit longer. Okay, fish that out. And it's going to be going in the rim side where I've got these 3 lines here, this side here, and just push this in. It's a lot more easy to manipulate now, and it is as simple as that. Perfect. So I want to turn this over and I want to put the brake drum in here. So the arrows on this should match the arrow on that. So that can go in like that there. Held in with screws. Takes 2 of these screws, so this is the second one going in here now. I'm going to be bringing the car over, and it's this side that I'm interested first. I'm going to be putting in the right brake support plate, which looks like this. Now it has got a notch just in here. It's going to fit over the top of this section like that. So it fits nice and flush in there. Don't worry about this pipe, we're going to be putting that in later. Just a case then putting the wheel on. And I'm holding that in with an screw, but I've got one of these washers here to put over it as well. I've put some oil on this, so I'm going to get that in and tighten it up. And you do want this to be as tight as you can get it. Perfect. Now the advantage of doing one wheel like that is that I can now put it on its side. So it's going to be best on the top camera now and just do the other one. Now we did do the other one in pack 1. So once again we're going to be taking this brake, this support, putting this over the top. You see the keyhole pattern in there so that it can't turn. Put on the wheel. Secure that in with an screw and washer and make that nice and tight. Excellent. Probably get a little bit more in there. And then it's just a case of putting the hubcaps over the top. So one this side and one the other side. So to confirm that works, as you can see, that's working perfectly. Excellent. That's all there is to do in that stage. In stage 22 here, we've got the rear axle to put on. And I want the left rear half shaft looking like this. It is stamped with an L there. And in this cavity here, I'm going to be putting a spring just like that. Going to be doing the same on the right hand side one. So that's 2 springs we're going to be balancing in there. I'm going to be bringing over the car. And I'm going to be taking one of these suspension rods here and putting it through this square opening at the bottom, so it's locked in there. I'm going to put this left hand side shaft on here, just like that. Get the spring compressed so it goes over that section, and I'm going to be holding that in just at the top here with a CM screw. That was quite tricky to get in here, but that's going to secure that suspension strut in there. That's the only thing holding this in at the moment. This is free to move, as you can see. I'm going to do the same on the other side. This goes over the top like that. The spring goes into this section and then underneath this section just here. You probably heard that just click in there. And then once again, a CM screw to keep that into place. And again, make that nice and tight. If you can't get a CM screw in the top here, it means you haven't got it all the way engaged into this point at the bottom, just here and here. But that's in place, and that's all there is to do in that stage. So in the last stage of this pack, we're just going to create the differential. Again, this is all metal. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be making a universal joint, which means putting these 2 parts together just in here like that, holding them in with a GM screw. Now I want to take this side of the differential housing, and this is just going to be on this point just there, held in with a GM screw again. And again, make that nice and tight. So to put this differential housing on, we're going to take the top section looking like that. That's going to go underneath this section here, and then I'm going to be putting both of these axles into that indent just like that. Then I'm going to be taking the top, and that's going to be going again underneath on this side, and I'm going to push that through here so it fits comfortably in place. And I'm holding that in with OM screws in these 2 holes. I just so happen to have that all lined up, ready to go. So there's one in this side and one just down the front here. Excellent. Then I can turn this over, and then I've got 3 other points just to put these OM screws in. 2 here, and finally just 1 at the back here. And making that ultra tight. That is all there is to do in that stage. That's all there is to do in that pack. How impressive is that? I'm so happy with that. We've got the wheels on. We've started doing the differential for the back so we can put the wheels on the back. I'm guessing we're going to be doing that in the next pack. It's a massive model. Look at that. And most of this was metal. I've never seen, I don't think, a 1.8 vehicle with that much metal, especially in the suspension. Brilliant build. If you want to get this for yourself, once again, I have put a link in the video description. There's also a QR code on the screen, which will take you to the Agora Models website, where you can get this all the way from pack 1. But I really hope you liked that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.